thought on pastors who live lavish lifestyles that have hundreds of thousands of dollars of cars and multi-million-dollar homes. What do you have to say about that?
Isn't there like an Instagram play called Preachers with Sneakers?
Preachers with Sneakers, yeah, it is.
Preachers with Sneakers. These are just Johnson and Murphy, so I didn't make
I have
it.
Doc Martens.
You got those? Yeah. Well, I mean, God's going to deal with them. I don't know how much money they give away. I don't know what their heart is. There is a passage in 1 Timothy. I mean, a lot of people think Christians have to take some sort of vow of poverty, but I don't necessarily see that in the scriptures. 1 Timothy 6 says that tell those who are rich in this world to share.
That's right.
But they can also, God gives everything to richly enjoy. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to judge a person's heart by necessarily what they have. I don't think Christians have to take a vow of poverty. I think that's held over from the monk age. On the other hand, we ought to be given generously to gospel, church, to our ultimate purpose to make disciples of all nations. See, by the way, that's another thing that I think a lot of churches don't seem to understand. He understands it, but a lot of people don't. And that is, the church's mission is not to make believers. The church's mission is to make disciples. And it's not just about evangelism. It's about discipleship. Anything to add on that?
Yeah,
Chip?
I just think that, I think that one of the hardest things to realize is whether you have a lot or you have a little, neither one of those makes you more spiritual or less spiritual. I think the point is that it's not if somebody has things, it's do things have them.
Right, yeah.
And typically when you have more things, the ability for those things to have you goes up, but that doesn't necessarily mean that every Christian is, called to a vow of poverty. And a lot of times too, I think that, I'm a pastor, so I can speak to this somewhat. I think that as a pastor, you have to realize that you do live in a fishbowl, whether you want to or don't want to, you do. And everybody has something they want to tell you how to live, what you shouldn't do, what you should do, how you should do it. But the reality is that a lot of pastors may have things that you didn't know that maybe they had books that they wrote, and they don't even take a dime from the church, and yet maybe the $10 million they made on the books, they gave $8 million away and they kept $2. And it's like, I just would say be careful in judging. There's nothing spiritual about a pastor being poor or rich. It's just, I think it's the heart of the pastor. Does the pastor give? Are they generous? Are they greedy? Are they those things? I think those are the most important things to look at.
By the way, Luke 16:9 says, use unrighteous mammon to win people to Christ, so when you get to heaven, they'll welcome you into everlasting habitations. Do you know that the people sitting in this room who are business people, who enhance the economy and create jobs and then give to a church like this, this church wouldn't exist unless you did that.
That's right.
That finances are, our ministry wouldn't exist. I couldn't go to college campuses because we don't charge students a dime. We go to college campuses based on donations. So making money is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. The question is, what do you do with it?
That's right. Yeah. And I mean, the reality is if you could, and I'll be happy to do this with you afterwards, if I were to take my shoes off, which are about 10 years old, and you may say, how come they're so clean? Because I'm pretty particular. That's why I would get on my daughter for her room being dirty. But if you came here, you would see that you can see this, Frank, if you look real closely here. They're all frayed here. Do you see that?
That's why I just had to glue these too.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. My point is that I hold on to stuff for a long time, and I guarantee somebody may say my Doc Martens are too much. I should have another pair of shoes.
By the way, you're a little unusual as a pastor too, because you were in business for years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was too, by the way. I didn't start doing this full time till I was 49. Yeah. So I was in the Navy, then I was in business for like 18 years.
I mean, we owned our house outright before we ever even started the church, pretty much. So is that Is that bad? Should I be penalized for that?
Dave Ramsey's going.
Yeah, well, I know, but the point is like there'll be some people that go by and go, oh,
Yeah.
you shouldn't have that or whatever. It's like,
Right.
you know what? At the end of the day, I'm going to tell you, this is the truth. If you're a pastor, here's the deal. It don't make a difference what I do. Somebody's going to say that it's wrong, and somebody's going to say that it's right. And at the end of the day, you know what I've done in my life? I've decided I got to answer to a party of one at the end of my life, and I'm going to answer to the Lord for the things that I do. And I truly believe this with all of my heart, and I will not apologize this at all. I do not believe the prosperity gospel is biblical. I don't believe that God has to, if you do certain things, you're going to have whatever. I don't believe that at all. I can tell you I have been at the grocery store in my life and had to put groceries aside because I didn't have the money to pay for them, and I've been at the place where I could buy whatever I needed to buy. If you asked me which one was better, I would tell you it's probably better when I could buy the things that I wanted to buy, but that would be my own personal opinion. But the reality is that all of that, we don't preach prosperity, we don't do that, but I also will tell you this, as a pastor, you can ask, we try to do our best to pay the staff here better than most churches do, because I don't want my people who are here on the staff suffering and can't go to dinner with another couple or whatever else. They're never going to get rich being in ministry. But I can tell you this too, I don't want anybody on staff to take a vow of poverty, and I'm not gonna give up on that. I believe that. I want to treat people good, and we're generous when you come.
Totally,
we're a generous
totally.
church.
Yes.